Hey everyone, and welcome to Comedians on Technology, People and Drugs. I'm your host, Sam Joseph, and today we're very lucky to have comedian Kathleen Hodis with us. Hey Kathleen, it's really great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for sharing your time.
Hey, no worries. I'm looking forward to it.
Yay! Brilliant. Now, you're a very funny person, and I'm sure that all of our listeners are just kind of like besides themselves, wanting to understand, how did it all start? Were you, the sort of the niece of a comedy king, who rode comedy horses, and you had to sort of disguise yourself to join the comedy battles, and then it eventually defeated a dark lord of comedy. How did it all kick off, your comedy?
None of those, but they all sound very exciting and a lot of dressing up going on. I'm loving the idea of that. Well, no, for me, it's not as exciting as that, but I wish it really wish it was. I am the person who thinks they're the funniest person in the room, and
Mm.
normally I am. I think I'm the person that's funny in the room. So I spent all my time making my children laugh and everybody else around me laugh. But when my kids got older,
Mm.
sort of grew up by themselves. Um, and lockdown came and I just thought I am just going to do something that I want to do now and for myself, and actually I've always wanted to show off I be an actor, so I did
Mm.
a an acting course after lockdown, and which I enjoyed, and then I became an actor, and I was very lucky that I got an agent and booked
Wow.
some jobs, commercials, etc.
Brilliant.
And then as an actor, like you have downtime, and Olivia Colman has the same worries, I am sure. But you have like downtime, you don't know when the next job's coming, and then you like sort of you're on the verge of like having like a nervous breakdown. You go, I'm amazing, but no one's booking me. I've just done the most amazing self-tape. I've just done the most amazing audition. What's gonna what so I once did a directing workshop, and I met a director whose husband was an actor, and she said, "Or whatever happens, when you have to make sure that you are doing something, with doing some sort of performance." And I thought, well, actually, that's the thing. What type of performance I could do? I mean, I could write, the next comedic comedy half hour, or I'm no good at that. I can't write a script. I'm no good with a camera. So what I thought, maybe I quite like comedy. And so I was chatting to someone, and I thought, what about stand-up comedy? I could do that. I'm hilarious. I'm so funny. I really am. I am. All I've got to do is get up on stage and be funny and show off. But actually, am I really funny? So for me, getting up on stage wasn't the issue. It was like writing down and actually being funny, and maybe people believing that I'm as funny as I thought I was, and they jumping on board with me. So I started my comedy journey. So that's how I got into it.
Amazing, amazing. And so I'm just interested to go into some of the background there. So before COVID, had you done any kind of performance stuff before? Was it was only post COVID that you did the acting workshop or sort of
I,
course, and then it
no,
became
oh no, that's not true. So before COVID, I was very lucky to I watch TV like what most people do, and I went on TV quiz shows,
oh
and
wow.
I went on Countdown, and I've
Oh.
been on Pointless with my lovely husband, and I then got a call where a TV company was doing a trial for a TV show, and what they wanted people to come along and work on this pilot,
Uh-huh.
and I had the opportunity to pretend, not that difficult, that I couldn't sing, and someone would train me to sing, and then I would do like a X Factor sort of performance, hair and makeup and the clothes and all the rest of it. And then that the person who did that, the Bridget, was working on a new TV show about um, people tasting new recipes for a quiz show against members of the public going against professional chefs and choosing which one did the better one. So I had the opportunity to do that. So yeah, and I've been nibbling at the edges, shall I say? But I thought after lockdown, I would just give it, full throttle, do it properly.
Amazing, amazing. Well, wow. I mean, and I guess these were these like I mean, I've never been on a TV quiz show. It sounds like really kind of fun experience. These were just sort of accidental things that the sort of opportunities that came your way, through the course of your life, or were you sort of seeking them out because you're a performer at heart?
Yeah, I think that's it. I sort of thought, oh, that looks quite good, and then you see yourself on TV, and they do your makeup, and it's fun. You're in the, you're in a TV studio. I've also done work as an SA supporting artist, again, like studio. So yeah, no, I think it was me working towards it. Once the children managed to be able to change their nappies on their own
Right.
and make their banana, simultaneously, I thought, yeah, I've got more free time to be able to do what I've always wanted to do. Maybe, yeah, it was always been at the back of my mind. I think I'm sure I remember once doing the work panto,
Right.
and also doing odd little show. If there's a stage I'm on it. Yeah, I'm a
Right.
bit like that. So and
Yeah, no, brilliant, brilliant. And it sounds like you were never, I mean, some people, getting up on stage, they would crawl away and die. It's like the
yeah,
most intimidating thing. But it
yeah,
sounds like you're kind of like you like the limelight and
yeah. And when you're an actor, you think everybody wants the limelight. So you'll sit together and you'll go, oh God, and I was really wanting to do this and I've always wanted to do that. And I thought, oh, everybody has that conversation. Because when you're watching TV and going to the theatre, you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's like amazing. I wish I was doing that. But apparently
Mm,
people are sitting there going, oh, that's amazing. I don't know how they do that because
right.
I couldn't do it. I've only learned that within the last couple of years, apparently. Apparently everybody's not like that.
I think it's interesting. It feels like that's probably the majority of people. The kind of I don't know if that's true. Certainly, it seemed. Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, I should do some research on that before
Maybe,
I
maybe,
make it.
maybe it's all the people around me. Maybe I surround myself with people that just don't want to do what I'm doing, and I'm just happy to I'm fit into that hole that's available. I
Yeah.
don't. I just always imagine that everybody was thinking that's amazing. I wish I could do that. But
Yes.
everybody, yeah, yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
there's not as many people as we think.
And maybe deep down, everybody wants to receive that attention, but there's some. Well, we don't have to psychoanalyze those people, but I'm really excited to hear about. I mean, I think what you were saying about that COVID. I mean, I went through a not dissimilar thing of there was COVID, and then also my kids getting to a stage where they could take care of themselves a bit more, and I finally started to have some time for myself, and that's when I did a comedy course because from a long time ago I kind of tried to do a bit of comedy and failed at it, and it kind of always been there in the back of my mind that there was something I wanted to try again. But for you post COVID, it was doing an acting course, and I'm intrigued because I've we've spoken to various people on the show like Chloe Campbell who did like is it a kind of as a RADA course but a big multi-year thing. I think also Joel Walker did the same. Tell me more about the acting course and how long was that and what did it comprise of?
It was a year's course, and you did everything from Shakespeare and studying Meisner, and going deep into yourself and going places you don't want to go to and bringing it in all your emotions.
Mm.
And I actually really liked the improvisation side of it. The like thinking on your feet, and that normally always seems to end like be more comedic. You're not
Hmm.
improvising like I'm about to die, so then
Mm.
someone dies, and then you're all someone starts. No one genuinely improvises that. It's more, yeah, comedy. So I thought I'm doing. I've always liked fun things. I
Mm.
thought I could just be an actor and just go and be. I'm going to be fabulous. I'm going to be like funny, but actually, it is more to that. And it is a learned
Mm.
skill. But yeah, and I felt like after coming out of that, I definitely thought, oh yeah, I can do this. I want to do this, but
Mm.
actually, I quite like the fun things that you do. If there was like a
Yeah.
comic script, I love that.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. And so there was that like a full-time year? Was that kind of like at evenings and weekends or
Yeah, no, it was a part-time
yeah.
course, 2 evenings a week. So yeah, I went for it, and you have to be very, very open to bearing your soul,
Right.
hearing all the critique, not always necessarily criticism. Like I would like literally like this is what I would like be learning my script, and then like for the like the next day or whenever it was the next course,
Mm.
and I'll be like phoning my husband, oh my God, why am I doing this? Or and he's like, you've got it, you've learned it, it's completely
Mm.
fine. And then I walk through the door and I'm like, you just have to go with it, Kathleen. You have to be almost naked. You're just gonna have to go with it. You paid your
Mm.
money now, and yeah, it's showtime. Yeah, it's challenging. We all need, we not need. We all sometimes have challenges.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, it
But
sounds like an amazing, amazing course and an amazing experience. Like, but I guess you're pointing out that it wasn't just to kind of like show up and be present. Like it was okay, actually be there and actually kind of explore some dark areas within your own
yeah,
psyche and like some difficult
definitely,
things. Yeah, yeah. And then I mean, amazing that you then went from that and actually booked some commercials and you actually got work as an actor, which
I
was
know. Yeah, that's how I'm a paid actor. How does that happen? I'm so lucky. I'm post um a certain age. I'm not a young 20s. I'm not a young 20s blonde. So, like the normal coming out of drama school.
right,
So,
right,
yeah, no, someone was looking for someone new to the, there's always someone looking for someone new to the industry.
sure.
Yeah, no, I got lucky that I got an agent who's amazing, who believes in me and is always working hard for me. So, I'm lucky there, and yeah, new to the industry. I managed to be a new face, got something going. So yeah, it's good. Yeah, I've been
Well,
very very lucky,
brilliant.
but lots of actors, are really good and
Mm.
they're working their socks off and all waiting for that break, aren't they? Being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, no, it's tricky. There's a lot of people working really hard, and then of course you were
Yeah,
talking about the downtime. So you're booking
of course.
stuff intermittently. You got staff, and then there's
Yeah,
I mean that mantra of make sure you're always doing something. That seems fantastic, fantastic. And I think you were then saying about the like you said there was a directing workshop and then the sort of chatting
yeah.
and you came up with this idea to do stand-up comedy. Was it that somebody who was doing the directing workshop suggested that specifically to you?
No, so I was in a directing workshop. So when you're an actor, it's a bit. I think it's like when you do it like a hairdresser. Unless you're acting, you're only a hairdresser if you're cutting hair. Like I've
Right.
been a hairdresser for like the other. So you have to. It's a muscle you have to keep working. So
Mm,
if you're not working, then you should be doing other things. So I went to a directing workshop. A
cool.
director doing the workshop, going through a script, and yes. But I actually was doing another workshop. And someone else said, "Oh, and he did stand up comedy," and I was like, "Oh,
Mm,
what do you do?" And he did it about, and he said, "Do from what you know," and he did it about the fact that he was absolutely petrified of flying, and
mm,
he made that like, and when he told me the story where he was going to meet his fiance's family, and they lived in America, and he hated
mm.
flying, or whatever, and he had 3 attempts to get on the plane. The first time, and they were like, "Yes, we used to be." Like the second time, like go to the hotel, have it, and then the third time, like completely, almost like zoned out on drugs, literally like zoomed up the set and like just was out the whole sort of time.
Wow.
Um, and I know it doesn't sound very funny, but he made that
No, sure.
into comedy. So I thought, well, yeah, that's about life, isn't it? And there are lots of things that are funny in life, aren't they? Generally, yeah,
Yeah, yes. Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, things can be funny in an abstract sense. I know the comedy I enjoy the most is very often that's kind of rooted in somebody's personal story about what's happening to them. Like you say, in this thing of like, okay, they had an obstacle that they needed to overcome, whatever it happens to be. I think, you get that lovely mix of of drama and comedy and so on, and then it's great fun, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and so this is there's basically doing workshops, filling in the time, make sure you're always doing something fantastic. And so you met somebody who was doing stand-up comedy, and then tell us about your like your first gig. Did you just go up and improvise? Did you prepare a lot of material? I mean, which
So
what?
I'm not a methodical, organized person at all, but I'm married to a very methodical, organized person. So like we have 2 desks, and I wish you could see them. So my desk, I mean, the fact that we got desks makes it sound like we're so business like, but I've
Hmm.
got a desk, and mine is so untidy, I can't tell you. And then there's my husband's desk is the completely opposite. So
Mm,
I needed some sort of order. So I thought I'm going to actually sit and write some comedy. It's the only
yeah.
way to do it. Like, and I would be like, I'm blah, 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 blah. And do you think that's funny, honey? No, that is not funny, Kathleen. That is so not funny. I was like, I actually think it is funny. So then I recorded myself because obviously being that we're used to recording ourselves.
Mm,
And then I would send it out to like friends and family. What do you think of this? And we got various feedback, and I just thought, oh, actually, I'm just gonna have to actually do it. I'm just gonna have
mm,
to see what people. Oh, someone told me, one of my husband, that uh, there was someone, I can't remember the name of the comedian now, and he thought he was going to be, he thought he was funny, and he spent the whole year writing loads of stuff.
Mm.
Went out and did it, and nobody laughed. Yeah, like a
Mm.
whole book. So I thought, oh my, I'm just going to have to actually go and do it. I'm just going to have to do it. So
Mm.
yeah, I scrolled the Facebook internet type things, and as I say, I saw Simi had who runs the
Never
world.
done it. Yeah.
She does a ladies comedy club once a fortnight,
Yeah,
and
that's the Backyard Comedy Club, I think, isn't it?
yeah, and that's a yeah, and is that backyard or backstreet, honey?
Oh, yeah.
Backyard. Sorry, talking to my
Or is it
husband over
Backstreet?
there.
It could be Backstreet. I
I
maybe.
think she's backstreet. It's backyard. Yeah, so back Simi's backstreet and the backyard is the backyard in
Yeah,
Bethel
yeah.
Bay.
Right. That's a bigger
Um,
show,
so
isn't it? Yeah. So,
because I didn't have any material to show, so I just put on one of my self tapes where like I wait for the laughter, and then I put the next joke. So it was completely laughter free in my front room, and yeah, she gave me the my first opportunity, and
wonderful.
yeah, and it went down well, not badly, not it went down well. So I've just continued from that. I don't know what it had been like if my first one had been bad. I don't know. What
Mm.
does one do? What happens if you go and it doesn't work the first time? Do you go
Mm.
back and then rewrite it, or do you like go under your bed and like do not visit me for another year? I don't know, but I was lucky. I take it that it was luck. And of course, I'm amazing, Dad. I'm just like amazing.
Well,
I was lucky.
given. Yeah.
Given, yeah, it's a given. So yeah, that gave lovely. That gave me the confidence to just keep going. And then, as I say, I'm sure you were number three
Right.
on that journey. Yeah, so I've just kept going.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been
brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, well, and it's interesting you asked the question there about, what happens if the first one goes badly. Actually, we had Jerry Devitt on the podcast last week, and he was talking about his first one being 10 minutes and just bombing really heavily for a full 10 minutes. And what was interesting was, like, I mean, of course, I say of course, but and when I first tried stand up when I was maybe 21 or 22, and it just went really badly, and I then just did never tried it again. I was so scared of it that I just I didn't do it again for like almost 30 years. But Jerry, when he first did it, and he was like maybe in his early 30s, and he was like he didn't take the hit so hard. So I think, if the first one goes badly, how that affects you, it may be more about where you are in your life's journey and your own kind of like confidence about how you can cope with those things. Certainly the pattern that we're seeing there is if you are too young and impressionable, as perhaps I was in my early 20s, that can knock you off doing it for a long time. Whereas, if you're a bit old, of course, some people, so I'm not trying to say that all older people are more confident than younger people,
And
but
I don't know who those older people are you that are talking about that carry on. Yeah, people that are
that,
not as young.
well,
Yeah,
no. I mean, to me, you don't look a day over 21, and I just wish I could look as good as you. It's, but then, we can't all be perfect. Yeah. So, but right, and but I'm always very excited to talk about that first one. You said it went well, and then, obviously you were still sort of doing it as a kind of a side thing to fill in time for, the main thing was acting. But then, so when you did that first one, did it feel very different from the acting that you did previously, or how did it feel?
yeah. For me, because um, like a lot of people like acting because then you get a character and you get into
Mm,
that character. You're not actually showing yourself, although you should be yourself doing that character.
mm,
So that it was individual. But I don't mind being myself. So a lot of people like to be like a character and bring their self through that and all of that. But I actually don't mind being naked, as it were.
mm,
So for me, it was like, oh, and also everyone's looking at you. I mean, if you're on the stage in the
mm,
ensemble, which we
hmm.
were in the panto, like there's always someone standing in front of you, isn't there? Or they're going to have a bigger part than you because I don't know, maybe I'm the only actor around that actually just wants to be on the stage. People look at them all the time. I don't know. You love it when you've got lots of lines, don't you? You love it when you've got screen time. So
Mm,
when
mm.
you're on there, people are looking at you for 5 minutes or whatever. 10 minutes, I think, is quite big to start, isn't it, for that other guy? Like, ooh, well done. And also for me, I like dressing up. So I
Mm.
noticed that people aren't particularly bothered. Like in the old days, old school, like also comedians were like in three-piece suits and all
Mm,
that sort of thing, wasn't they? But now everybody's like post, 80s,
mm,
every, Dawn French and all that lot, they're all, everyone's all casual, you're just into
mhm,
you, and like, punks and whatever they were. And I can do casual. I absolutely can do casual.
mm,
But I'm thinking, if you're going to go somewhere, I genuinely don't do casual. And I thought, well, oh,
mm.
this will be another reason to buy more things, um, and put them in my wardrobe and actually wear them. So yeah, I think to me, for also, yes, another way of just dressing up and just having a good time. Yeah,
Brilliant,
yeah, I
brilliant.
enjoy it. I'm very, very lucky. I mean, I do get nervous,
Mm.
but not to the state. I mean, if I'm going to do when I'm going to do the Royal Albert Hall
The
or
Apollo. Yeah,
the Apollo,
yeah,
ask me
comedy
not.
store.
But at the moment, yeah, the nerves are okay. So yeah, no, at the moment I'm just like I'm performing, I'm having a good time.
Mm.
I like being funny. I like the people that the people laugh when I think they should laugh. So for me, yeah, it's been fun. It's been good. I've enjoyed the journey so far. I have had a couple of not successful, but I blame that. I can honestly say that was more to do with the club itself and the
Mm.
dynamics and all that type of thing.
Mm.
And as a woman of color,
Hmm.
it's not it's a not that it's not an even, but sometimes I'm very aware that I might be the only woman, or only woman. There might be only two women
Right.
and 10 men. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes, and you're not young as well. And sometimes some of these people, they just want what they like and they know, and they're like, what's she standing up there for? So like,
Mm.
it's
Mm.
okay. I always like, it's okay. There is going to be another man along and another one and then another one. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's a journey. Now I love the journey. I have to
Mm.
say, absolutely love the journey. I'm very, very lucky because when you start at the beginning, bring a situation. It's
Yeah.
very important. I have my lovely husband who
Mm.
listens to all my jokes all the time and then listens to them all again and then records them all again on purpose. So I've always got a bringer. So I've been very, very lucky in that
Brilliant.
sense. So I've been able to get out and do a lot more than maybe other people have been able to. Yeah, I am. So it's all come at the right time for me. So I'm able to do, yeah, what I can. Yeah. So I just need to be more organized. I just need to
Mm.
be more organized. I just haven't got that organized gene. I've had to marry it. Is it easier?
Right.
I just don't know. Listen, girls, if you're out there and there's something wrong with yourself that's missing in yourself, just marry it. It just like just marry it. Marry no him or it or they. It doesn't
Sure.
matter.
Yep.
Just marry. I mean, if it's a horse that works better than like, go for it, guys. Go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. It's well, and you touched on so many different things there. I was going to say it is often so many of the shows, lots and lots of young men. I think there is, it's a battle we have to fight because like we try in our like Sunset and Crack and the different ones that we do to get in as much diversity as possible. But we're there's something relentless about the waves and walls of these young men trying to get up onto the stage. I mean, I think acts such as yourself are a breath of fresh air, and I would much rather see, a really diverse, with different people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, everything. I mean, like, hearing like 10 young white blokes, from London, in a row, it's kind of like, come on, guys, let's have some let's have
And I
some
think,
variation.
like you, it makes it more interesting. It's a more interesting night out. It's like when you're watching TV, are you just watching the same thing over the time? No,
Yeah,
you're watching lots of different things. They bring lots of different things to you. It's more route. It's more interesting, isn't it? So,
yeah.
but maybe young men just think they're funny. I don't know, like, and just want to get up in there and do it. All power to them. But I'm impressed that there are lots of like yourselves that are aware of that. And I mean, although I did a gig the other day, I'm not naming anybody
Hmm.
out there, and I was the only. I'm looking at my husband now. I was the only woman that night, wasn't I? I was the only woman that night, and I arrived on time because we're very, very arriving
Hmm.
on time type of people. I'm not my husband, and I was number three, and in the end, I got pushed back to number 7 or something,
Mm,
because someone walked in and he had to go on to do something else, and so he
mm,
had to go in front of me, and then someone else, and it was like weird. And then I remember at the beginning when we were like signing in, and like the guy said, "Oh, like, oh, like you're, and what's your name?" And I'm like, "Kathleen Hodis. I'm like the only woman here." And he went, "Well, that's stand-up comedy for you."
mm, mm.
So
Well, it's
it
yeah.
that is just, it's human being, it's human life. So yeah, we've worked with what we got. But I've been lucky, and as I say, I've done the journey. I know, I get it. So you work with it, and you work through whatever is there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a interesting one. And my own theory, I think, is a lot of these guys who are getting up, and not some of them are like full of ego where they think they're really funny. I think there's a sort of spiritual a male desperation for
oh,
attention. I mean, it sort of reflects a kind of inadequacy on the part of the males, and it's like I must do something to get some kind of attention to make my life have meaning. And it's that.
women aren't looking at me, so I'm gonna have to stand up on stage, and I don't know. Maybe there's something missing in life generally. I don't know, but it's just it's just weird. But it hasn't. It's just interesting, and I've been aware of it. But
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
enjoyed the journey. I've been very lucky.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
and like, will drag myself away from my theories about what's wrong with young white men. To like the journey, and so you did that first one. I mean, I was also just going to connect it with. So I think Joel Walker and Sam Adamson both and I think also Chloe were talking about this. They've all been sort of done the actors training, and then I think they found it particularly, like I was sort of expecting them to say, "Oh yeah, and getting up on stage, no big deal." I think that there was a theme to some of the things that we're saying about, having had a character given to
yeah.
them, they could
Mm,
sort of hide behind that, and that when they then got onto stage as a stand-up and like, okay, this is me, that was they had trouble with that nakedness. It sounds like you relished it. You were
yeah.
like, "Oh, thank right, woohoo! I'm
But
going to
that
get in there."
Sure, I mean that is the main challenge, surely, isn't it? Whenever for most people, isn't it? I mean, I know people do acting courses, and I suppose that's to get them to be able to do something and actually get a chance to actually be physically on stage and see how it works. But I don't know. I don't mind. I can perform in Sainsbury's,
Mm,
I often do. Yeah, no,
mm.
I relish that, and I don't know if I'm like the weird 1% and everybody else is different. I just don't know. I don't know. It just works for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
no.
like yeah, I'm always on. I'm always performing. If I could sing, oh my lord, everybody would know about it. I would like. It's just that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, and
So
I relate. I mean, I personally also, I love the attention and I love it being about me. And yeah, it's great fun. But and then so having done, you did that first one, and did you come off feeling, oh wow, that was amazing. That's even so much better than acting, or you thought, oh, this is something I want to do a bit more of, or what was? Tell me about the sort of the thought processes that you went
I
through.
just thought, oh, well, I literally was like, oh, that's really good. I think I did okay then. I can do this alongside my acting, and is it a question? I don't know which I love, whichever pays the best, whichever I can get booked at. I'm just like the the acting whore, Yeah, I know. I just like being able to do perform and whatever. So there's so many genres. As I say, if I could sing, you would know me. I could sing as well. So I'm not like lots of actors are like they can only do like Othello, or they can only do stage, or and they
Mm,
get their own niche. Maybe I haven't found mine yet.
mm,
Maybe that great job where Olivia Colman, is sick on a Monday, and they've got like a whole shoot needs doing, and they were like, "Oh, what to that Kathleen Hodis?" She sat next to Olivia the other day, and she was like really good, and that I might love that, and
mm.
love that more, and just like open to everything. I think I liked the thought of being open, because there's just so much better for you, isn't there? I don't know. And
Yeah.
also, if you say you can only do one thing, I mean, that's quite that you're limiting yourself, aren't you?
Mm, mm.
Um,
I mean, I think it's absolutely, you want to have. I think certainly people like you and I want to have many and varied and different
we do
experiences. But
experiences, we do, yes, and that's good for our comedy as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think many, I mean, there's this we were talking about this with Sam 2 weeks ago. There's this kind of a little bit of tension between actors and comedians, perhaps,
Mm.
where like sometimes the comedians, when actors come in and do, like you say, keep busy, do a bit of stand up. I think there's some comedians who are perhaps like, look, this is the one true way. Don't come here just to get better at your acting. Come here and devote your life to stand up comedy. I'm not saying that's the right
I
opinion, but
don't
that,
even know these comedians are now they're now acting. I mean, Ramesh Ranganathan,
yeah.
he now is working and doing quite well, isn't he? I'm actually going to go and see him. Um, doing this Alan Ayckbourn, and the
Mm,
last time he did any acting, I think he was Judas Iscariot at the school play. So
mm,
I,
mm.
there are lots of things, as you know, that you lots of skills that you learn and acquire
Right.
performing. And if you perform as an actor, you learn these skills. You're performing as a comedian. I mean, the greatest skill is like, like people, I think some people do these comedy courses and things for public speaking, for
Mm,
confidence and
yes,
all that
yes.
sort of thing. So you get all of that. Um, I might have been like slightly more confident than someone on their first one, but
Mm.
they'll get that confidence as they get on, and they'll spark other things in them. So yeah, no, there's nothing negative to getting up on stage and just seeing what happens. It's just whether you want to do it or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, and many people who are on the comedy course that I did, I think, didn't really go on to do stand-up, and they were doing it to get better public speaking at work. And
Yeah.
I mean, those courses are great for that kind of thing. And so now, I mean, I'm kind of interested. So you're gigging regularly. I mean, so you're basically you're still booking acting things, and you're taking open mic and other comedy things. What's the kind of frequency or the percentage of the week that's on comedy, and what percentage is on acting, would you say?
Well, it mostly depends on my agent. So I'm lucky. I might get a self-tape audition about once a week.
Mm.
And I try to do at least some sort of comedy at least once or twice a week.
Mm.
I'm trying next year. I'm going to try and be more organised. I don't know if that means like I will lose my husband at the end of it because I'm so organised, but I will. When's my next comedy gig? I would have to. I look in my diary and I haven't I know I've got one, but I haven't got all the notes next to it, like where it's going to be. So
Mm.
and and also going to maybe try and look at my social media presence
Hmm.
and see, because I know that there's a lot of people in this industry that have got good social media presence,
Mm.
and we're performing all the time. So maybe you could just keep going, and that's another medium. But I feel I have to be more organized. So it literally will have to be a full-time job.
Mm.
um, so, promote, maybe I'm just going to go mad for like a whole year or something. So ask
Mm.
me at the end of 2026. I'm going to, maybe just go at it mad and just try it and do it to the nth degree, a bit more organized, a bit more structured, and have like an end sort of goal to that. So
Yeah.
I'd say this year I've had fun with it because I
Yeah.
didn't know how it was going to go, and I've loved it. And now let me see if I can make it better, more professional, and let's see if it works alongside my acting. So I hope that it does, and maybe one can feed the other.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that, and to go back to what you're saying there, I think, many comedians would be very happy to take paid acting work once they get to a level where they're being offered that. I mean, I know for myself,
Yeah.
having done acting back in the day, I mean, like the first couple of years that I was doing comedy, I did actually get offered, either they were just like volunteer, I wasn't going to get paid anything, but get offered acting roles. And I actually turn them down because I'm just so excited about doing comedy at the moment. But I mean, like,
Mm.
I'd love to become, super world famous and like be offered, things in films with, Bruce Willis or whoever. But let's slide into our second question, which I think you were sort of touching on there because you mentioned social media. But the second question is, how is technology affecting your life and comedy? And this is sort of like a thin facade on. I'm really interested in your comedy process, how you come up with your jokes, how you prepare for your
Mm.
performances. But I am also very interested in what role technology plays, and whether that's a pen and paper or that's the latest AI model or you're recording your sets or
No,
you know,
I'm very old school. I write everything down in
right.
my book, and I do not take it out of my house because I know somehow I will lose that. I'm very
Mm,
good at losing things, and my world will crumble. So I write everything down longhand, and then I learn it old like a script, and I like
hmm.
to perform it like a script.
Okay.
Like obviously, it's not like a script. Like I'm doing it for the first time, in that world. But yeah, like so I know roughly what I'm going to say. And learning, as I say, part of the journey, know what to say, and then when to, work off the room, what's happening in all that, get all that stuff. I mean, it's so technical. Who would have thought? So I do, yeah. So, but I do record it and always watch myself back. I like to hear it in my ear so I sort of know if I've said something that's the prompt for the next one. Because I've
Mm.
learned, yeah. So first of all, you learn it parrot fashion, and then like on the night, if anything, then you can put things in, and then I can work on things like that. But yeah, I'm very, very, very old school.
Mm.
Um, but what is the other way? I mean, you just write it down on the computer. You're still writing it down, aren't you? You're just writing it by hand as opposed to writing it online, I think. People do, right? Is there any other way? Do some people just say it off and then just record it like that and play it back? I don't know. Is there any other way other than writing a joke, physically writing a joke? Good
Well,
question.
I mean, so I mean,
I think.
I think there are various ways. I mean, I can speak to my own experience. So I do a thing 2 nights a week in virtual reality called the Comedy Booby Trap, where I basically take 5 thoughts from my day or maybe the day before, and I don't have necessarily a joke worked out. They're just, oh, that was a strange thought that I had, and then I basically, I have like those. I mean, I happen to have. I mean, they could be written down on a piece of paper, but they happen to be, those 5 thoughts are written down on my laptop, and I'm there in virtual reality with an audience of maybe a dozen people from around the UK and the US mainly, maybe a few Europeans, and then I sort of talk for half an hour to 40 minutes. And I just start talking about those ideas and then seeing if I can find somewhere funny. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. And then, in between the five, I will do basically a crowd work and ask people where they're from and what they do, and just like sort of like that. So I think there's, quite well. I've forgotten his name. Actually, he's a friend of Ramesh Ranganathan. As the guy with the big teeth. I can't remember his name for the moment. That's not coming to me. You know, if he was on Mock the Week.
Rob Ryde, not Rob Ryde. They're
Rob.
Rob, Rob something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
all,
yeah.
all
You remember that?
the listeners can ping us his. I was just watching actually him and Robert Ranganathan. I think probably in India, and Rob
Yeah,
receiving some sort of weird massage that there was just. I was seeing that a clip of that on Instagram. But yeah, he was. I mean, he had recorded. I think when I was doing the comedy course, I remember one of the people on the course sending us this link, and it was to this guy Rob, and he was going to go on stage in Ipswich to like a big crowd, and he was saying, "Oh, it's the morning, and all I've got is these like." But some people just have bullet points. They just
yeah.
have like Iceland, elephants or what have you. And I think there's some people who do write on stage. I think they will absolutely record it and then listen back to it, and they'll maybe never write out what their jokes
Oh,
in longhand. Do you know what I mean?
interesting. Yes. Well, it's Rob Beckett, by the way, my
Rob
assistant.
Beckett, of course. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just everyone needs an assistant. Um, I do sometimes like I'll be out and I'll say something and I'll go like, actually, that's quite funny, and I will make a note of that actually physically on my phone. My husband likes a one-liner, and if he hears something, he'll say blah blah blah, and normally I don't think it's funny, but I think actually if they said this, that, and the other, that could be funny, but I would have to write it down.
Mm,
I just couldn't. But I like this idea of like, because that's to me, because you're quite technical, aren't you? So you have
mm.
that in your favour. So whereas between the two of us, I don't know how we manage to get up and do anything technical tools. But I like the idea because then that to me, you're more organ, you're more structured because you know that you've got this particular virtual thing going on. So you know that you're working on your craft, working on new material all the time. So
Right.
yeah, I like that idea. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm doing something
Mm,
regularly, like at least once or twice a week, where it's all about the comedy
yeah.
and thinking up new things. I mean, yeah, because you need to progress. You need. when I was reading Jennifer Saunders, not Dawn French's autobiography,
Mm,
and how she started, and she was like, I was like writing reams and reams and reams,
mm,
and she was like, but actually, what I didn't realize was you only need to write like 10 minutes and just go to different places, don't you?
mm,
You don't need to have
right.
10 hours worth of stuff, do you? You just need 10 minutes, and you just show that 10 minutes off to like different. And I thought, oh well, actually, you can build small and build and build and
Yeah.
build. I don't know how long your journey is, because we saw who did you see in Southend, Martine? Anyway, so we anyway, uh, old school comedian, and it took
Gary
him.
Delaney.
It was Gary. Yeah, not that
Yeah,
was.
brilliant.
Yeah. Anyway, he
Anyway,
used to be in the 80s Australia. Anyway, so and it took him a year. Ben Elton, and he took him a whole year to write his show.
yes.
So yeah, it's just however you do it, isn't it? It's just a
Yeah.
skill.
Right, right. And I think it's important to say that, there's lots of different ways of doing it. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about comedy, because unlike, some other things where it's like we're going to put on a play, right? We've got to have a script and we've got to have actors and we've got
Mm,
to, and like you've got to kind of get this whole team of people together and of course, like get them to collaborate and so on. And the beautiful thing about comedy is you can have whatever your process is. That's just entirely up to you. And if your process is, memorizing a script, and if your process is like, like just going and having some experiences and then talking about it on stage, you can absolutely do these things. And everybody, you know, you'll see how it goes on the night. You'll get immediate feedback, and then you can, evolve the material, you can evolve the process, you can evolve your personality, all the different things. It's all, yeah, it's, I mean,
Yeah, I wonder that's why some people are okay with like improv and other people aren't. Do you know what I mean? Like some people
yeah.
need it more structured or something like, like a shout. Some you need can you feed off of somebody else and be funny as well. So it's another challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and part of the thing, I mean, what I've been doing. I'm not maybe going to change it next year, but I've been doing a lot of MCing, and it's interesting how MCing is something that particularly goes with the improv and coming up with things in
Yeah,
the spur of the
absolutely.
moment. And I think that's, I mean, it's like you're saying. I mean, you want ideally one wants to be strong at all the things, don't you? You want to have
Yeah.
some really really clever, reliable material. You want to have a stage persona. You want to have some ability to react to whatever's going on in the room. It's I mean, I just I remember memorizing lines for acting, and when I first started doing the comedy course, and I was like trying to prepare for my kind of first set, I was going through that acting process of actually memorizing the lines, and I kind of had this sort of like and like I think there's this intermediate thing where you may, because some people will write out their joke longhand and
Mm.
then they'll kind of allow it to evolve. And as they allow it to evolve, they won't like each time rewrite it out. They'll just kind of like, okay, now they only need a bullet point to remember that.
Yeah,
And it might
absolutely.
be a little bit different each time. It's not every word exactly in its place, but some
But you
keywords will
hope,
be,
you hope it is, don't you? Hope it is, don't you? Because even if you're an actor on stage, your performance, even if you're doing the same script, will be different every night. So
right.
it's literally the same sort of thing. You're hoping that something will be different, but easier, but more immediate in the because then you've got different people that you can interact with and maybe change it. And uh, but interesting when you say about the emceeing. So you start. So is that like that's like a progression for you, or is it just like something you wanted to do as a
Well,
challenge?
I mean, it was, it's actually ironically what I originally started doing. I used to MC at university. I used to MC like a music night, and then I kind of very briefly ran a comedy night, and again I was MCing, and it was trying to do jokes as part of the MC, and then those jokes going really badly that put me off that kind of performance thing. But one of the things I've noticed, on the open mic circuit, in London is, oh wow, the MC actually gets quite a lot of stage time, depending on the night. I mean, I think, good MCs will not do too much. I mean, if you're doing like 5 minutes or 35 minutes between each act, I mean, it's kind of like just drives everybody completely nuts. But yeah, like, so, I mean, I was doing, starting my own night, like Sunset and now Crack, was a chance to MC more regularly. I mean, I'd MC'd for a few other people here and there, but it was like I wanted a regular MC thing. And then I did Logan Murray's MC course, and a bit like, so you'd gone from the acting course to the directing workshop and so on. And I mean, other people I know have done clowning workshops. I think there's all sorts of exciting different artistic workshops that one can do to explore these things and get better at them. It's such a fascinating world in which we live with all
I
these.
know, it's fascinating. I just think that with that first go, that must have been the audience, babe, mustn't it? I mean, you were like young and fabulous. They probably had too much to drink, or they were worried about handing in their dissertations the next week. The next week they know they should have been in their rooms. No, that yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you know that wasn't you, babe. You know that wasn't you. That was them.
Well, and it was that time, and I think that this was at that point. I thought that all the stand-up comedians were making it up as they went along. That you know, this thing is that, of course,
Yeah,
many stand-up comedians, as we know, polish their material and they repeat it and they repeat it and they repeat it, but they
yes,
polish as delivering it with a certain nonchalance that makes it seem like they're just delivering it in the moment. And so
absolutely.
when
Yeah,
my first time around, when I couldn't make it snap in the moment, I thought, okay, only special magical people can do this. But talking about people, let's move on to our third question, which is the people that have had the biggest impact on your life and comedy. And then you've mentioned your husband several times, and I think that you know the
yes.
big shout
He,
out to
and
your
yeah,
to your husband.
he's in my comedy as well. Bless him, he's so brave. Obviously being a mother, best job in the world, and that teaching, and there's loads of funny situations with being a mother. There are plenty of
Mm,
female comedians, taking you down that road. I would say I was just thinking about this, and I'm saying like my journey to be, an actor, whatever, and just do what I was thinking about was I was once watching a program with Oprah Winfrey years and
oh
years
yeah.
and years ago, before she was like the amazing soothsayer and you write down everything she said. Well, that was on one of these silly TV programs that she used to do. But
Mm,
anyway,
mm,
I probably was breastfeeding at the time, so it seems like such a long time ago. And she was talking to this woman, and she was saying, like, what is it you want? What did you want to do? What you want to do with your life? And she said, well, actually, Oprah, I want to be an actor. And she went,
mm,
what is stopping you from being an actor then? She said, well, Oprah, it's so difficult being an Asian woman getting into Hollywood. LA hasn't got room for me. And I need to, how can I climb that ladder, be successful? And she went, oh, what you mean is you want to be a successfully famous actor, because if you wanted to be an actor, you could just do an actor course and start acting, because you could
mm,
do what they call community acting. You could do
mm,
like,
mm.
and I thought, well, actually, that is what it is, isn't it? So, you don't have to be famous, making loads of money, which is lovely, of course. Like us
Mhm,
when we stand up,
mhm.
you can say you're a stand up comedian. You go to clubs with an audience and you do stand up. So I thought, well, if I do this course, and I got organized one year, maybe the year after I met my husband, and like you have to. For me, I needed like a stepping stone. I
Mm,
needed to know my route, so I worked out my route, and the route was obviously to do a course. So I thought, yeah, so I've been lucky. I've got an agent. I've had acting jobs. I'm an actor, and I do stand up comedy. So I
yeah.
think you know it's I've got acting friends who are successful actors. You might not know them because they they've not managed to get together enough to put a deposit on a house, but they're successful in the world. They managed to
Right.
get jobs. They've got agents. So it's just about. I mean, I'm lucky that I'm doing it on the side where I've had children. I mean, if you're
Mm,
on the other side and you're starting, then you've got to make breaks, and there's the
right.
financial worries, of taking time out. So I haven't got that. I'm lucky. But because I had my children at 4, I'm so lucky. But yeah, no, I just think yeah, I'm doing it for me. It was a goal that I had, and I'm proud of myself that I've done it. I can say I've done stand-up comedy. I can say I'm an actor.
It's brilliant.
So
No, it's absolutely wonderful. And I think that for anyone out there thinking, I can't possibly do it, you can. And the example you say with Oprah about this, often people will look at, I want to be a footballer. Or you mean you want to be a famous footballer? Or no, a famous
yes, it's
like,
yeah,
but you can.
yeah, be a footballer. Of course, you don't have to be playing for Manchester United or Arsenal or
Right,
whatever.
right,
You can play football, and you can play football really well. You can enjoy it, and and who knows, you might get lucky, and one of these scouts that just happen to be
right.
walking past Sunday. But if it's what you want to do, I mean, we do it because we love it, don't we? Yes, we do
Yeah,
it because
yeah.
we love it. So
Well, that's the
um,
key. Well, and I
we're
mean,
lucky.
yeah, I mean, Oprah, discovered one of my favorite people, which is Eckhart Tolle, and I think his philosophy, which I don't know if you've heard. I mean, it's I think it's all about, enjoying the thing that you're doing in the moment. And that is the danger, I think for us in the performative, there are these, examples of people who are super, famous and successful in acting and comedy and what have you. And we look at them and we think, oh, I'd love to be there. But like, actually, really, if you're doing it and you're not enjoying the moment to moment, what's the point? And really, if you
Yeah.
can, put away those thoughts of that thing, because that will either come or it won't. I mean, if you work hard, you make yourself open to opportunities. But like, immerse yourself in doing a thing that you enjoy, and you'll never work a day. That's what they say, isn't it?
I know, but it mostly takes a bit people about 20 years to get to that thinking. Maybe that's what happens. It's another journey, isn't it? And
Yeah.
like today, we're 21st century people, and we have to do everything to the best degree, and we have to chase our dreams, and we have to be like fabulous and all the rest of it. Yeah, but do you know what I mean? We're so lucky that we're doing something that we enjoy. I mean, I could carry on acting in my front room and try not to be funny, but I've actually managed to get it outside the front room, and people watching me like, how amazing is that? I feel so blessed. I'm so lucky. And I
It's
have an
yeah.
amazing PA as well. Bless him.
Well, having a supportive partner there is hugely helpful. Were there any other people on the journey that like the person who introduced you to your agent, or pointed out the acting course, or indeed, actors and comedians for whom you've had a big impact on you and your style? Is there any other people you'd like to shout out to?
um no, I don't think that's a very interesting question. I don't know. I mean, I do watch a lot of comedy because we are comedians, aren't we? I mean, I really like Catherine Ryan.
Hmm.
I definitely like a story. I like Alan Carr. I like movement, and I don't know. I just think it's just, isn't it? What a skill to be able to make people smile and they're
Mm.
happy and all those things, isn't it? So no, I don't know. That's very interesting. My children are like, oh God, Mum's doing something again, isn't she? She's like, at the
Yeah.
stage, she's on it again. Like, oh, we've had that one. Have a nice time. So no, I don't know. I feel like they always know I'm doing something, and like people always go like, "What are you doing, Kevin?" Like I'm always doing something, so
Mm,
maybe
mm,
that's just
mm.
it. But no, I don't know. I just think it's very nice to be able to, just chase your, like really cliche, chase your dreams type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? If you've not got any dreams and you're really happy, I'm loving that too. Like sometimes it's just nice to be like on the sofa, isn't it?
Mm,
Watching,
mm,
I don't know, that Medea we've been watching at the moment, Tyler Perry,
mm,
that type of comedy. And sometimes that is just so nice, just doing that. And
mm,
then, like, but then, well, I'll have got dressed up and ready to go to do my comedy. I think I've only ever said only twice. I think no. I think the first time I was like, "What am I actually doing here? How did I get here?"
mm.
Um, but then I said that when I had my first child. Like, how did I get here? You've actually got to push that baby out, don't you? You've
Yeah.
actually got to push that baby out. So life, isn't it? Bring it on.
Crazy.
Bring it on.
Well, amazing. Let's move on to our fourth question, which is how do drugs affect your perception of reality? And as I often say, by drugs, I'm using the kind of broad term of any substances. And, people are, they have all sort of strange relationships with
Um,
caffeine or alcohol, or as we've discussed recently, like people with vaping or with Coke or Pepsi, or, ADHD medication, or, whatever it happens, psychedelics. Are you dependent on any substances to get you through
No,
the day?
no, no,
No.
no. I like a glass of water. Yeah, my husband drinks Lucozade a lot. No, I'm fair. I used to drink. Um, I'm not a very good drinker, so I'm practically not drinking at all now because, like, I have like a drink and then I feel terrible the next day, and I'm like,
Mm,
oh, actually, you shouldn't have done that the previous day, kind of thing. So, like,
mm,
maybe you shouldn't do that. But no, but I'm very interested in this 21st century world with this. Gen Z and Y generation that always seem to be making jokes about taking a line of coke and like
mm.
I don't know that world. I really do not. I've never ever taken anything. Maybe I've always looked like the good girl and people just like don't bother with her. She just that's not like a thing. My mum, oh my lord, she would be praying for like weeks. The Lord would be well, he would have been so sick, like, oh, she's going again. She's praying about that daughter. No, it's just not in my world. But maybe as I say, I'm not Gen Z, Y, whatever. So
Mm,
I feel like it wasn't. No, it just wasn't. It isn't my thing. And I must say, your club is completely clean. Nothing's
mm.
ever been offered to me. So it's no, I don't know. I'm going to have to read back to some of your other ones and hear what their love journey is. But no, I'm boring in that sense. Not boring. It's just a no from me. So
Yeah,
it's a
no, no, and
hard.
that, but that's well, it's that's a very valid position. I mean, over the last 4 years, doing the comedy, I mean, I became teetotal. Like, I gave up drinking completely, because I think, I mean, exactly those things you were saying about. I mean, when I was younger, I could kind of enjoy drinking and not really worry about the hangover, and I think they were less severe. But it definitely got to the point, even before comedy, where oh gosh, I was so, even when I was drinking that evening, I would be so aware the next day, oh, I'm going to regret this, and it was becoming less
And
fun. And I'm
your youngest doesn't care, don't do they? That you've been on this all night, will they? They'll be like, "Daddy, you promised me that you were going
right.
to teach me to go on the bike today, wasn't it? Like, get up at like, get out of your bed, So, oh gosh, no,
Yeah, no,
definitely,
hangovers and kids
no.
really don't mix. I mean, I'm
Mm.
just now allowing myself, a very small amount, just in order not to be so quite so puritanical. But yeah, I mean, going back, we've had a lot of people, Hannah Lloyd Davies loves is addicted to matcha, or was it mate? I don't know. I forgot the kind of drink
Yeah,
it
this
was.
new tea drink, this green thing, isn't it, as
Yeah,
well?
the is it Matty? Anyway, Kian Darcy, absolutely addicted to vaping. Callum McKenzie on the caffeine. Who was it? We had Laura Kelly talking about trials with alcohol, and yeah, of course, former co-host Joe, like being into this whole microdosing and psychedelics for helping people with PTSD, and so all sorts of things. But so you're like, what? You don't even caffeine or aspirin? No substances at all.
We've all had a headache, haven't we? I'm a Nurofen, ibuprofen babe rather than a
Okay.
paracetamol.
Okay.
Um, I, I know like everybody's mad about coffee now. It's so expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is
Oh
that?
God.
It's just like a new fashion thing, isn't it? I mean,
Right.
is Coke cheaper? Is that why people do Coke rather than tea, rather than a coffee? I don't know.
Mm,
But I do like a cup of tea in the morning,
right.
followed by a cup of coffee, and then I probably won't drink another one until like 9 o'clock of an evening. So I'm not
Mm,
mad for the things in between. I don't know. It's just not my thing. And also, as a lovey actor, if I drink, it actually does change the tone of my voice. I'm
right.
very aware
Right.
of that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I already think I sound weird anyway, so I'm not going to put anything else in there. But no, just not my vibe.
Well,
Not judging
brilliant, and I
anybody.
think
Not my vibe.
I think that other folks who've been on the podcast, envious. I think when they, Kian talking about his vaping, or Laura talking about alcohol, I think they would like to be in the place that you're in, not being, having these things as a crutch, and being able to focus every, what's the word? There's a fiber of their being on the
Yeah.
performance, and it sounds like in some ways the performance is the thing that you're addicted to. Really, that's the thing that you love.
That
Yeah.
is yes, this is it. That's my addiction. Yes, that makes complete sense. Well done to that. This counselling session is absolutely working. Um, and yeah, maybe that is my addiction. I just cannot wait to. I don't know. Like sometimes I like. It depends on the show. Like sometimes I'm sitting there like, oh, I cannot. If I'm like, I cannot listen to anything else because I'm going through my script in my head, so I don't
Mm,
generally don't hear the person before, and then or sometimes like they're really funny, and so I'm like I'm getting into it, and then or it's not, or that person before wasn't that good. I don't know how I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm in the moment. It's a whole craft. I'm enjoying it. So
yeah.
um, yeah, it's yeah no it's good, but no, I don't need anything
Well,
other than just a dry throat. Maybe I'd like a glass of water or something. But
water.
sometimes
Yeah.
also it's nice to support the bar as well, and all the I get that as well, as a
Mm,
performer as well. But yeah, every now and again I don't mind half a pint of cold Guinness. I feel
mm,
like that, you know, that could make you better in the morning, maybe. But I don't know. I don't.
mm,
And then nothing about alcohol makes you sleep better. Actually, nothing at all.
mm,
But sometimes I might fancy that, like if it's a really hot day or something. Other than
mm.
that, no. And I don't even sit at home having a glass of wine or anything like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. It's just not my vibe. Not
Well,
judging anyone, just not my vibe.
yeah, no, and thanks for sharing. I mean, one of the lovely things about doing podcasts is having the time and space to hear what people gets through people through the day and how they live their lives, which sort of almost leads us into our final question, which is what does it all mean? This life, this universe, this everything. I mean, that, like, are you religious? Are you not religious? You think we're living in a simulation? I mean, how do you make sense of this strange and
Wouldn't
crazy
that
universe in
be
which we
lovely
find
with all
ourselves?
the simulation? No, it wouldn't be lovely with simulation. No, I'm not religious. I was brought up in a religious household, and my mum has gone to church enough for all my siblings. All of which
Mm,
she's done her bit for all of us. So yeah, we were lucky that we were able to walk our own path. Unfortunately, none of us walked the same path as her, but
mm,
she's good with that, and her grandchildren as well. She's good with that. I don't know. I suppose as I get old, I mean, I've been very lucky to have children, and you know that gives you a different perspective on life. So I've been very lucky to have children. I'm very
mm,
lucky to have had grandchildren via my husband because I am not old enough to have grandchildren. But
mm,
yeah, and that is a lovely thing as well, another gift. Um, but I'm lucky that I've got an amazing husband. I haven't always had an amazing husband, so that's a gift as well. And I am able to look at life and think I'm actually at this moment I'm okay. I've had this journey and I'm enjoying it. I don't know, maybe we don't know how important it is until we're gone. I don't know.
mm,
Yeah, I think at the moment the best thing to do is just try to keep everything as light as possible. I know, like some people like serious conversation. I get that.
mm,
There's serious things going on in the world. I mean, every now and again, I just cannot watch the news, and I actually like detract from it for a little bit, because it's
mm,
just so that you want to help everybody. So I'm on that at the moment. So I'm watching anything that is like mind-numbingly stupid
mm,
on so I watch any type of reality TV program as well.
mm,
And
mm.
I crochet as well, which
Okay.
I find is good as well. I don't know, just day by day. Do we have to have a think about the big picture? I just don't know, day by day,
Mm,
maybe.
mm. Yeah, I mean, I think day by day, my sister has a poster on the wall of her bathroom saying, take it one day at a time. Yeah, there's no, I think there's that, we don't have any police, sort of like what do they call it, philosophy police coming around and saying, hey,
Mm.
you've got to have a big picture, and not having a big picture is absolutely fine. I like what you were saying there about, well, just mentioning about the news. I mean, I've been pretty much, it's probably about, is it about 3.5, coming up for 3 years now. I basically not I don't watch any mass
Mm.
media news, and I basically try and I mean I don't watch any kind of news that comes over the social media, and I try to stay just
Mm.
purely on the IMs, going backwards and forwards with people rather than just scrolling through the stuff. Yeah, I really am, at least personally, I'm kind of not sure what the point is in trying to keep up constantly with the world affairs from organizations that I think are kind of like I think that they are biased towards showing us anxiety inducing things because they want more eyeballs, so I mean, like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
very
because
happy to hear about. Oh, sorry, go on.
in the end, we're going to go like, I should, like we don't want, that we know that's happening, but do we need it in such in-depth detail? Like,
Mm,
we just can't. We're like, well, we're just human beings. I mean, I am very good at lying in. I love my bed. I'm
mm,
very, very good. I love
mm,
my bed. So, up until about a year ago, I was listening to Radio 4, when my alarm goes off, it goes straight onto the radio. I don't know anybody, I'm just giving this out, and nobody in this world needs to be woken up by beep, 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 beep. But no, that is not natural, is it? How can
mm,
that be good for your day? So I listen to radio and I quite like listen to that in the background. But that was getting like so stressful, like, and then they keep repeating it every half hour.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now I'm just on classic FM. I'm
Mm,
just listening to Vivaldi, or
yes.
like gently. No, it's just no, it's no good for you. So I am recommending any of those silly blind date love programs. They're all
Mm,
very, very good. They're all very, very good, very good. They're just so funny, and you get to look at really nice wedding dresses at the
mm.
end as well, which is always. I love a wedding, mate, which is always a
Brilliant.
good thing. So does my husband, because I am wife number three.
Mm.
I've just told the whole world, haven't I? But yeah, keeps me on his toes. Keeps me on his toes, isn't it? I don't take anything for granted because 4, 5, and 6 could just be round the corner.
They say the third time's a charm. So,
They
that's that.
do. What is that actually? Yeah, that's yeah. So, but they, good things comes in threes, don't know. But there's 3, 6, 9, and 12 as well, isn't there? So I'm
I think one perhaps shouldn't look too deeply into these things.
no,
Brilliant,
one
brilliant.
day, one day at a time.
One time at a time.
One wife at a time, one day at a time.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no, we're the fun police, aren't we? I mean, that's another thing, aren't we? We're doing everybody a service, aren't we? We're giving them an hour or whatever where it's just fun, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just. I don't know. You do politically type jokes. I don't know. I can't remember. Are you like? Do you say like
No,
Blackburn?
yeah, I mean, partly because I'm not watching the news. I'm not
Right.
really doing
So
topical
you're caught
stuff.
up with it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, very occasionally, if something comes, because what I mean, I don't, I don't want to get my news from these sources that have these agendas. I'm very happy to hear a little bit of news from friends and family, or to
Right.
like even from the AIs. Actually, is it sort of like a kind of,
Okay.
a summary? So occasionally, no, I'll make a joke about Keir Starmer not having any friends or whatever happens to be. But yeah, like I think a lot of my humor tends to be more to do with like I've got kids, my experiences in Japan,
Yeah.
these sorts of things, or just like random. But yeah, I'm also asking like, what is consciousness and what is the universe, which I think is a fun play area, which is partly feeds into our.
Do people have an answer to that? They're like, oh, we're like, we never thought about it. Now we're gonna have to think about it. Now we've got to come up with a funny idea. Now, like, no, I've never thought about it. When I was younger, I didn't. I used to like the stars, like looking at the stars, and I thought that
Yeah.
might be quite nice for there to be another planet out there. But then I don't want. But I do like sci-fi, so
Mm,
I like things where there's aliens and things as well.
mm.
So maybe it's not a good thing to think about it because maybe that alien might come and clone me or something. I
Well,
don't
I'm
know.
just thinking, if there's aliens, basically that's more opportunities to perform. I think,
Yes,
I'd like to be the first
love
human doing
that.
stand up for an alien audience. I think that's really, that's sort of my bucket
aliens,
list.
aliens with a sense of humour. Love. That's a whole new TV program, isn't it?
There we go. Brilliant stuff. Oh, well, Kathleen, it's been a wonderful conversation. I'm sure the listeners will be like beside themselves
Oh,
again
thank
now. Of
you.
like, oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Wanting to know, how can they follow you perhaps on social media, or where can they see you performing in the near future?
I am on Instagram improving, and I'm fabulistic, lowercase hyphen thing, Kathleen. And I had got a gig coming up in. Well, I'll put it on my thing. I'll put it on my Instagram. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, so I'm working on January now. So that's my job for what's today? Sunday. Yeah.
it's like the
So that's my
14th
job
of
for
December or
next
something.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, for like sitting at my desk and working on getting acting jobs and getting getting performing comedy jobs as well. So yes, I'll keep looking, people. I'm going to it be out there, out and about, isn't it? I think Christmas is nearly on our backs, isn't it? So do
Mm,
things genuinely get quieter at the end when it gets darker, when it gets Christmassy, and then like there's a pow in the new year.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's there's we've got upcoming shows at Crack Up and Sunset Comedy. And we'd love you to come back and perform
Oh,
there. So
yeah, I
perhaps
saw your
we can.
crack up. Yeah, like the Irish crack thing,
Yes,
the one you
indeed.
were
So
telling me. Yeah, no, that sounds fun. Yeah, no, yeah, maybe I would like, to do that. That would be lovely. Thank you.
yeah, brilliant. We'll get you booked in, and we'll get your Instagram link in the show notes so that people can follow you. And yeah, well, thanks everyone. And remember, you can help support comedians on technology, people, and drugs by going to patreon.com/comedians on, where any level of support will help us to continue to produce this show. I don't think anybody's given us any support yet. Maybe it's cost of living crisis. Who's got any money?
Yeah,
Nobody at all. The
there are
inflation's.
so many reasons, and none of them got anything to do with us. None whatsoever. It's them.
But what
I
they
mean, I
can do.
even put my makeup on today as well. I mean, for a podcast, I mean, that's just unheard of, isn't it?
But please do follow us on Facebook group. That doesn't take any. Spend your time on us and comment or ask questions there, or on Spotify. And please do follow us on Spotify. I get these little messages from Spotify saying, what you should have is get more people to follow you, and then that will help the algorithm and help us
Yeah.
get up the
And
rankings. So
you didn't know that, did you, before? When you were like, oh, thank you for telling me that. I was unaware that I needed people to follow me and listen to me. So I don't know.
it's
Yes.
it's all about attention. It's all about attention, and
Yes.
we
We love it, don't we? We love it.
can't get enough of it. And of course, we're both looking forward to being in your ears and maybe your eyes again real soon. Last word to our fantastic guest, Kathleen Hodis.
Hi, my last word. is a fabulistic. So it's a combination of fabulous and fantastic. And I just love that. Well, I actually made that up. So that's in my Instagram, fabulistic Kathleen. I just think it's you everybody is fabulous and fantastic. And if you're not, that's what your goal is for 2026.